We are live. Welcome to the Fade You podcast for NFL Week 10 recap. We got one game left in the books. We are live on YouTube and Twitter recording about 30 minutes before Monday Night Football kicks off. If you guys are watching, listening, like it, subscribe it, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. My name is Matthew James, joined by a roundtable of dads. We got Kmart here. We got Neil the Bucket Boy here. We got Joe here. We don't have Chris here. Joe?
Yay.
Is there a chance he is at another chili cook-off?
Wouldn't put it past him.
We wanted Chris here to go over what happened with the chili. So we should be getting him joining us momentarily. So, oh, God. Well, I don't know. Week 10, I guess why don't we start with tonight's game? I know I have a vested interest in this. Kmart and Neil are also invested, looking for the Washington, I call them just the footballs at this point, to cover the 11-point spread.
Kmart. I didn't like it. It's all Neil.
I was going to ask whose pick was this.
It's all Neil. I sent Neil. What was it? Friday or Saturday? I was like, all right, guys. So our five should be Bills, Raiders, Titans, Bucks, and I was inadamant about the Packers. Would have been 3-2, and now we're just hoping the commies can pull their what's out for another 2-3. But
2-3.
I mean, leaders didn't do so hot. So I mean, I'd love commies to only fall a game back further than we already are, just going the wrong way. But yeah, Neil, you tell us why we like commies. I'm vested now with $100 on the money line because I think they're either going to win this thing outright, or they're either going to win outright, or they're going to get blown out.
I mean, to me, an 11-point spread in a divisional game just seemed. I get the Eagles are 8-0 and they're undefeated, but I mean, they're not like the. It just seemed like they're a too big a number. I don't know, Matt, how you felt with that. To me, it was a divisional dog, prime time. Should it be 11?
I mean, their only good win is against what looks like the Vikings. I feel for 2 to 3 weeks, people were like, including me, how good are the Vikings? Well, how good are the Vikings, guys?
Well, Neil, it's too bad that so there were 3 division dogs this week. 2 of them have already won outright and covered. So
this will lose big time, probably. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what famous scientist we want to cite. Somebody's law of averages. We'll ask Chris. Somebody's law of averages. We are maybe a little too late, but we'll see. Maybe the footballs can pull their what's out for the dads and just keep it respectable. Like I say, lose with dignity.
Well, to maybe have things on the commie side. I know this is an NFL pod, but college football went 0-3 on those type of apple bomb plays, ranked versus unranked on Saturday. So we could get 3-0, reversal here.
Joe, I don't think this one, at least I don't think the Philly side is as square or public as one might think. Is it even a slight lean towards Washington and the points?
I just looked right now, and it's ticket numbers and money split 50-50. So, and I think I've seen a lot of both sides being argued all over Twitter from squares and pros alike. So I don't have a lean personally, but I think everything's split pretty much even. So it's a roll of the dice.
Last time the Eagles were in this spot as a double-digit home fave, they beat the piss out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that bodes well for Commanders bettors, but we'll see what happens. I guess, why don't we go back to yesterday and we'll preview the rest of Week 10. Kmart, do you want to go on a rant on the Bills game? I would love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, man. So, yeah, yesterday, we had kind of like a lunch play date with everyone who had babies last year in Arizona. So I see the first quarter, right. I get over there. It's 27-10. I'm following on my phone. I'm just like, I'm about to text the group like, hell yeah, guys, we're about to start 2-0. Bills up 17, Bears up 14. And the next thing I know, Lions go score. I'm like, okay, Fields is running crazy. Do a double take. It's tied at 24. I'm like, what the fuck? Then meantime, the Bills game, 27-17, 27-23, and I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna get half point tickled. Extra point misses. I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna luck it out. Can't run out the clock. Then obviously everything that happens just it's just like I feel like Neil's texting the group, and I'm just like, guys, what the hell is going on? Get the stop. Cousins get stopped, and then they just don't have Jimmy G to sneak it up, and Allen's little elbow cost them the game, I guess. Fumbles, they recover, then they can't get it done in overtime. It's crazy. Like the one time I'm not in the Vikings, of course.
It was insane.
It's great. I mean, I can't be too mad, except for the money. I mean, it's kind of, I guess I'm mad because I lost money, but I'm then gonna win it back on all the futures I have on the Vikings. But it's like
That's one way to look at it.
I mean, cool.
Joe,
Thanks for the push.
Joe, you were not on this game. However, we did collectively with the dads yesterday at your place put some significant change on the second half under, which was looking really good when it was 4th and 18. And Minnesota was not going to convert that and go score and push that second half total over.
It was looking really good halfway for almost going into the fourth quarter with no points on the board, or what was it, 6-3 or 3-0? I don't know. It was looking great, and then all hell broke loose, and that caught an L there. So good time.
A lot of highs in that game. I mean, I had Bills -3.5. So when the Vikings scored, I said from my seat I would do a lot of things for a missed extra point. And then Joe said, "What if he doinks it?" And he doinked it. It could have been epic, and then everything went to shit. So we got Chris Duke here, so we got to go back, talk about yesterday. This is an all-timer, an all-time Chris Duke moment. So we've had Sunday with the dads planned for weeks, right? Weeks. And a week ago, Chris tells me, "Hey, you're not going to believe it. Like, I can't stay the whole day. I committed to go to this chili cook-off, so I'm going to have to leave early." So I'm like, all right, that's pretty stupid, but whatever. So we're hanging out on Saturday night, and Chris is talking about the chili cook-off, and I said, can you bring a little bit for the dads to try? Like, since you can't stay the whole day, at least bring us some chili to try. And so he said, yeah. Joe, we show up. I show up with Chris. He's got the chili in hand, right? I mean, it's going to be a great day. We get there at 6:30. We crack open the German beers. We're excited to try the chili. We're like, yeah, maybe like for the 10 a.m. games. And Joe, do you remember what Chris said on the couch a couple hours later?
He's like, "Hey, bad news, guys. We can't have any of the chili. I guess I took too much, and I have to bring it back to Merrill." So not only is he leaving early, he's also not bringing anything of value other than his smell, I guess.
The chili is in Joe's house, but we can't actually eat it.
We can't have it. Yeah.
We can't have it. We get to just know it's there and look at it. But
good thing I wasn't there, because I would have got drunk and ate it.
Yeah, I should have left it, because the moral of the story is never trust women, because my wife tells me that they need it, and then I feel like when I'm about to leave her in the Uber, she's like, "Oh, it's okay, we got plenty, don't worry." It's like, fuck off. So whatever. By the way, I had the chili cook-off on the calendar before Carson booked his flight down to Joe, so that's a yearly thing. I was at that thing last year, so fuck off. But I got fucking completely wrecked yesterday from 6:30 a.m. to probably 9:30 p.m. So cheers to 15 hours of drunk. Can't do that on the East Coast. Fuck you, East Coasters.
You can definitely do that on the East Coast, and you got to start a little later. You don't have to get up at 6:30. You get up at 9:30.
Well, there wouldn't be a football game at 6:30 on the East Coast, but okay.
But there would be one at 9:30, and then you could end at 12:30. So that's also 13, 14, 15 hours, like you just said. I know math's tough.
That's too late. Who wants to stay up till fucking I don't know how they do it. Whatever.
Who wants to get up at 6:30? Fuck.
5:30.
So what else did we learn yesterday? Anybody got any takeaways from any games? Talk about Bills Vikings. That was just an absolute roller coaster. And Joe, I mean, we talked about that one. Like, you can't even really be mad at being on the Bills on that one. That's just fluke shit happened. And I think you said to me, that's why it's so hard to beat the NFL.
It's impossible.
You're at the mercy of so much bullshit.
Yep. Line moves. I mean, look at Jacksonville, fucking KC. Half of us won by buying the half of 10 to 10.5. Some of us pushed, and then everybody that was late got 9.5 and was fucked. So, I mean, that's the NFL, man. You got to get your lines at the right time, and even if you do, it might not even fucking matter.
Yeah, all those fucks that had 9.5 in the contest lucked out. They got. I mean, we talk about lines often don't matter, but then there's going to be a few every week that the line does come into play, like that one. So that was crazy.
How many extra points were missed that actually came into play, or potentially came into play yesterday? That's crazy.
When Greg Joseph missed one, and the Vikings would have put it within 3, and Joseph misses and it stays 4.
Yeah.
That could have been significant.
Robbie Gould missing one that wasn't a push. And then the Bears kicker missed it.
Cairo Santos misses one.
So that game doesn't go to overtime.
Right. Maybe we get a little 2.5 tickle, but nope.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. We were on 3 games yesterday. All of them that lost had a missed extra point. That's nuts.
Well, I mean,
moral of the story:
Josh Allen fumble too. I mean,
no, I know. I'm just saying, how crazy that is. I mean, one of them almost was fortuitous for us. I'm not saying all of them were bad. I'm just saying, that's how close these games are.
Yeah, but the one that was bad, right? Fumble. I think there were 2 fumbles in that Buffalo game, right? One that sort of one right before Dalvin's 81-yard touchdown. The Bills gave it up in the red zone. And that was Dalvin. The next play was Dalvin's 81-yard touchdown. And then you have Allen's fumble in the end zone everything.
I thought they were up 27-17 going in the red zone, and then Fubart, or I can't remember. Like I said,
Allen threw that pick, right?
Yeah, he did what he did against the Packers, where he could have put the game away, and then they not even get backdoor covered, but lose outright.
Mm-hmm. How about the Sunday night game? Do we take anything away from the Niners as they're going to be laying a touchdown again?
I called it. Week? I called it in the group chat. What could possibly go wrong? Niners kick 5 field goals. Boom, nailed it.
Yeah,
I want to know: is Herbert fine? I want to know why the line is so inflated in that. Why were the Chiefs laying 4 at home and now they're laying 7? I mean, I get the injuries, but that's a huge. I mean, are they?
I don't think it's Herbert. It's the Chargers defense. They're dead. I mean, yeah, they played the Niners tough last night, but look at their injuries. They just lost another defensive lineman. They probably have maybe 3 or 4 starters from week 1 that are playing. And everybody gives Patrick Mahomes, rightfully so, a ton of respect. So that's exactly where that line goes, why that line's there.
And you're still missing potentially, right, Allen and Mike Williams. There's nobody to throw to for the Chargers.
Sac State's DeAndre Carter.
Yeah.
Making plays. He scored the first touchdown last night against your Niners.
Yes, he did.
Then they learned his name, and then they started covering him a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's interesting. Chargers going to be catching a touchdown again, and the Niners going to be laying a touchdown again. Everybody talked about this is the healthiest the Niners have been. This offense is so dangerous, has so many pieces. Yeah, it's still Kyle Shanahan and very conservative play calling. Loves to run the ball a million times a game. Any concern going forward about the Niners covering a large margin? This has been a tough spot for them as a favorite under Shanahan, a big favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been reluctant to fire Niners all season. We've done it twice and went 0-2. So I don't know. It'll have to be a better spot than next week for sure to fire him again.
I just followed my brother-in-law. I told him on the phone Saturday driving to Phoenix that I lean Chargers, and I just wanted to agree and get 5 plays in because I was tired of it.
Sounds about right.
There's only so much of this shit I can take.
Other things we learned yesterday are the
Cult of God or what? Is Cult of God? Is he every time he plays he just covers is he like the new Teddy Bridgewater? Just take him when he's catching points or what?
No idea.
I mean, I think Colt is like many guys, like Case Keenum. Get him in there for a start or two, and he'll be fine. But the more people see him, the worse he gets.
I mean,
So
the Rams
can he
are
go in?
dead, so
The Rams are dead too, so don't put a whole lot of stock into that.
DED.
Yeah. Shout out Middlecoff. I know he left at DED, but
Yeah.
the Rams are dead. And Stafford's dead. And that win total is going to sail under, and I'm very happy about it.
How soon are you away from banging that?
I mean, they're 3-6, right? So
Yeah. And they're what,
they have
10.5?
under 10.5. Yeah.
Nice.
So they'd have to win out.
Yeah, they'd have to
go
win
over.
out. So you're one loss away
Well,
from a bang.
news flash, it's a bang.
Yeah.
I got to bang the Packers last week. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And we're
What about,
dangerously close to banging Vikings over, which we probably can do it already. They have
I
to
know both
lose
these
out
teams are
almost.
going into a bye next week. Seahawks, Bucks. Are the Bucks back now that they have found a little bit of a running game? You guys see people wanting to buy on them second half of the season?
They might be back because well, I don't know, man. Tom Brady seemed really distracted, so I don't know. That's my one hesitation with them being back.
I think he found a new mistress in Germany. He looked good.
Nice strapping
Yeah,
German
dude, he's
girl.
still got a fucking cannon. Jesus Christ.
I loved him on that receiving route. I couldn't believe how quick they
That was
ran
a
that.
great
Like
outside.
I was just like, they have to run this again, but of course, like Fournette just blindly throws it. It's like,
That might have been the
Tosses
most,
up a meatball.
stupid do they think the Seahawks defense is? Like that was
might be the most
unbelievable.
perplexing play of the season thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That was worse
I'm
than
actually
the-
glad he didn't hurt himself falling down.
The Amari Cooper interception he threw on the Monday night game on Halloween on that trick play. I think the Fournette one was worse than that.
Dude,
That was
that
pretty
One,
bad.
I
Yeah,
heard
that was
about the
pretty
Cooper
bad.
one.
It
I
was-
missed
yeah.
it.
the Fournette one might be
As
the
far as
worst.
that was awful. Yeah.
That was fucking crazy. I mean, it made no sense. Great drive going right down the field, getting 5-6 yards a pop, fucking ahead of the chains, and then you run this stupid ass play.
Well, what
Ruin
happened a
your
couple
momentum.
plays before? We noticed that Brady motioned out and no one was over there, right? So they had just kind of like set that up, and then for them to try it again and actually throw it.
Was it the drive before, or was it that same
It was
drive?
that same fucking
The
drive,
same
like,
drive.
like 2 plays before that.
Crazy?
And they just didn't put a corner out there, but there was a safety. And
Yeah.
that corner or that safety, all he did was just run. As soon as he saw fucking Fournette run back with the ball in his hand, like he's gonna throw, he just ran towards Brady, and
Yeah.
easiest play of his life.
Insane. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about a team that people are going to bury and think is dead. Joe, you were on Raiders yesterday. Do you want to talk about talk about that team?
Real shame there, man. I don't know what to really say. I don't know how you don't fire the whole fucking coaching staff, but apparently they're giving them. I mean, what is there a worse L this season? There can't be. That's you can't fucking lose to Jeff Saturday and the Colts at home. Just can't fucking do it. And they figured out a way to do it. So I don't know, man. And it's the team like the Bucks, like the Rams, they seem to be just broken, man. Like, I don't know if it's not good coaching. Obviously, it's not good coaching. I mean, I think Derek Carr's kind of played okay, but fuck, dude. They are no semblance of a good football team there. And even what was kind of interesting to me, too, is on fucking the Herd today, Colin Cowherd was like, I would take the Raiders over the Broncos right now if I was a head coach. And I was like, they're both dog shit, but I don't know which way I'd lean.
I think there's something you can do with the Raiders. I probably would echo Herd's. I would rather take that. Denver just looks. I don't want to
Denver's
say what.
still
They
the
just
best
look
team
wor-
on paper.
Dude, I mean, Denver's defense is arguably the best in the fucking NFL. They give up
It's great.
like 2 scores a game.
It's great, but Russell will.
And they
but
just can't
Russ,
score. So if they were
Russ is completely broken. Yeah.
if you put Raiders offense on fucking Denver's team, that's probably a top, 7-8 team in the NFL. but the fucking Broncos suck dick too. And I don't
Hey,
know, man.
Neil.
It's disappointing, but to see Derek Carr crying and shit after that game, I was like, fuck. They are emotionally dead too. I mean, fuck. I don't know what to say. It's just a bad pick by me, and you just never know, man. Seemed like an easy play.
So Neil, assuming that Melvin Gordon isn't going to fumble again and change the whole dynamic of the game, can I make Denver my best bet?
This coming week, I'm sure you're all over doing that. Denver and Colts.
Laying points with Denver. What could go wrong?
What could go right? Nothing. I'm just going to start. I'm telling you, you just pick 5 games and flip a coin, and you might do better.
Start throwing Hail Marys.
Maybe, man. Maybe. There's
Like,
a shitload of games like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's chaos.
How about to get to another one that a lot of people are going to be talking about? Green Bay may be back. That was vintage Rodgers. Christian Watson breakout.
If Watson stays healthy,
Yeah.
Aaron Jones looks as good as ever.
get Dobbs back. Like if they can, I don't feel like they've had Dobbs and Watson on the field at the same time for more than 10 snaps. If they can get both of them and just some rhythm, because you could see Watson miss still the great game he had. He still missed a couple throws from Rodgers just because they're not on the same cadence. But yeah, assuming those 3 can actually gel together, I wouldn't see why this would be the greatest time to start buying low, which is why I really liked them last week because they're getting just enough pieces back.
I'm pissed that the Packers are playing on Thursday. I wish they were playing on Sunday, but because dude, I think Tennessee's a nightmare matchup for the Packers. I think Tennessee's a fucking phenomenal bet on Thursday, and I wish it wasn't on Thursday because then we'd have to submit early again.
Well, you're gonna get value off the look ahead. I think the look ahead was 1, and I think is it 3 now after everybody watched Green Bay in America's Game of the Week storm back from down 2 touchdowns. So that's going to be a really interesting Thursday game. And then on the other side,
real quick, Matt. Let's go back because I thought it was interesting because Kyle and I had this in our group chat when we were submitting because we got off of you were on Dallas and when we recorded this on Thursday, you were on Dallas, right? I was right there.
I said I would. No, absolutely not. I said
you didn't bring up
snap
Dallas?
call Green Bay. No, that's
Matthew wanted Green Bay.
You wanted
Were we head to head? Okay, we were head to head. I was the one taking down. I'm sorry, I thought you were. But I thought it was interesting because again, that's fine.
Don't put that square shit on me.
That's right. You drew your square, but you weren't really. You were telling me I was square without square because you didn't draw a square. But I told Kyle everything about what happened on Friday and Saturday morning with that line. That's much better, by the way.
That's the original square.
That's the same
That's
square.
the original one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's a little crooked. That's okay.
If you keep lying, your nose is going to look like this dude's cock, Neil.
But everything that happened on Friday, to Joe's point, everything that happened on Friday and Saturday, right, told me that I was on the wrong side. If that line had stayed 5,
I was telling you that on Thursday, bitch.
But it was stayed 5. It was just opposite. That's what makes markets.
It was 4.5 when we were having the argument in our
it was
chat.
5 in the contest. We take in the chat, but we when we were on the pod, it was 5. The lines had just come out. Westgate had just posted everything. So what happened Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with all the money, all the bets, right, and tickets were on. You had reverse line movement in that line. I think what closed at 3.5. By the time closed wrong, I say. Right, we left it out, and I was totally fine. And I had said in the group chat originally, Dallas was going to be my number 1 if Seattle hung it at 2.5 and not 3, which they did. And by the time we were ready to submit, I was completely off because everything that the line was telling me was that I was clearly the wrong side, and it had to change.
Thank God you were off because that was probably the only reason I got them in.
I'm sad. I'm fucking sad we didn't fire if we didn't submit on Thursday, we probably would have fired that shit. Because, god damn, man, like I said on the pod, I was like, how hot would it be if it goes to 4.5 when it was sitting on 5? And Matt was like, holy shit, that'd be sick.
Yeah, you did say that.
You did say it. Next morning, I think, right? Next morning.
And I'm like,
And then
fuck. If
I
we
think
didn't
so.
spend early, that would have
Week 2
absolutely
or 3, we
contemplated.
said you have to take the 5. It's like the sharpest line this year. I mean, they continue to win when the West gets.
You're gonna have another 5 next week with Pittsburgh and Cincy, another home dog +5. That was gonna be Sunday night, and it actually got flexed out. So it's Chiefs Chargers flexed into Sunday night. Real quick on the Packers game. The other side of that is Dallas, and so Dallas blows a 2-touchdown lead in the second half. Real quick, Dallas's wins this season. The Bengals in week 2 was a nice win. Here's their other wins this season: Giants, Commanders, Rams, Lions, Bears. And yet the Cowboys are going to be favored in Minnesota. Chris, you want to talk about how this one doesn't pass the smell test real quick, looking ahead to week 11?
Minnesota's already down to +1.
So it's down to 1. Okay.
Went
So
from 2 to
Chris,
1
how about
today.
that?
Was it 1.5 or something?
I saw 2 this morning.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, Matt, you talked about it in the group today. You're like, yeah, they just lost to the Packers. They just blew the lead, and look what you love it. This is what we live for, right? As bettors, situational bets like this, where the team just got a 4th and fucking 18. Jefferson pulls his cock out. They get a fumble. They win outright. I'm on the road, and now they come home, and I'm already seeing close to 70% of the bets on.
I see a pick now on our site.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's pick.
Circus is at 1.5. Westgate's at 1.
There's a lot of situations like that right now. Like,
I think I saw Minnesota's won 7 one-score games or 6 one-score games in a row, something like that. It's crazy. It's just things keep bouncing their way every time.
Season win total under next year.
Well, boys, before we get out of here, any final thoughts from week 10? Anything we missed?
Giants cock figuring out a way to cover a spread once again. Jesus Christ. Shout out Davis Mills throwing fucking interceptions in the end zone, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
About
touchdown.
Miami?
No, call it back. Touchdown, hold, pick. Wow.
Miami over 31, 31, 35, 39 last few games.
Oh, Matthew,
They're going into their bye.
You need to discuss your what you said on the couch about teasers. Remember what you said?
No.
You're like, oh, I was gonna fire this teaser right now, but then I remembered I don't do teasers
what was
anymore.
It was Seattle. Was it in the Seattle game?
No, it was fuck. I think it was Buffalo and somebody.
I remember that now.
I don't remember
Wasn't it
what
one
it
that would have
was.
lost.
I think it had to do with the Raiders too.
Must have been right around the time I teased
Oh no, it was
the Niners
Buffalo.
and Bills.
Yeah,
You're
it was
right.
Buffalo.
It was Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I
Buffalo
said,
and Raiders to a pick 'em. What could go wrong?
Right.
I
That
said,
was
all
our
right.
discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, I was so close to teasing Buffalo down once Josh Allen was confirmed in, and I was going to tease that maybe with the Niners or something like that. And then I said to myself, no, you don't do teasers anymore. You actually retired from that shit a few weeks ago after you lost your 8th one.
Yeah, he said that shit verbatim to himself, and I was dying laughing. I was like, I remembered I don't do those anymore, so I didn't.
Yep. I remembered I'm retired from that shit. So anyway, all right, let's get out of here. Go Washington, whatever you are called in this year of our Lord 2022.
Football.
We'll be back. Footballs.
The Washington Dan Snyders, I think, is what he's going to change it to.
Another team that's distracted, huh? The Washington.
Another distraction.
Another
distraction.
Good way
these days.
Not on the road, Joe. You don't get distracted on the road. You're locked in.
Especially when you have Dan
That's
Snyder as an owner. He never distracts you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday. Chris, remind everybody what happens sometimes when you bet on poop.
You get shat on like the fucking Raiders did by Matt Ryan and Jeff Saturday. Or you pull your